A railroad story. June 27, 1978 was a typical Southern Ohio day, but for William Smith it marked the end of a long career as an engineer on the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad, now part of the Chessie system. William's usual route was the Parkersburg to Chillicothe run on the Ohio Division, but in the last few years he chose to switch the industries around Chillicothe so he could be home more often to care for his ailing wife of 39 years. There wasn't a more respected man in Chillicothe than William Smith, and he had no enemies. William often spoke of how much he enjoyed running steam engines back in the old days, so the trainmaster, with the permission and help of an old friend in the Chessie corporate offices in Cleveland, secretly arranged for the Hocking Valley Scenic Railroad to let William perform the switching duties on his last day, running a 280 similar to ones he had ran so many times on the Ohio Division. Also on June 27, 1978, I took the most beautiful girl I've ever known to dinner at the Lake White Club to celebrate her 18th birthday. It took quite some time, but eventually I would marry that girl. Thankfully, someone was around to film the unusual sight of a steam engine pulling modern cars in Chillicothe, Ohio in 1978. P.S. The first paragraph is fictional, but not the second one. Hasn't really been that long since the steam engine has been in Chillicothe. The Chessie Steam Special came through there, and probably the Freedom Train, which was the bicentennial year it came through, but it's always a treat. The only work we have to do at wherever is to pick up the rail box at spot 1 and drop off the CN car. I was trying to stop just shy of occupying Douglas Avenue, which is why I had to nudge the train forward a little bit. The steam engine is a little bit longer than the diesel. I can do it with the diesel. I don't find the steam engine bell as annoying as the diesel bell for some reason. Now, when the Hocking Valley Scenic Railroad had their 280, it was lettered for Hocking Valley Scenic Railroad. So, of course, this is still lettered for Norfolk and Western, and I probably can't get Hocking Valley Scenic Railroad decals, so I may actually letter it for Chesapeake and Ohio. Since we're going right back to get the rail box, no sense pushing it all the way back. Just minimize the distance we need to go. Unfortunately, where I left the rail box, though, it was very difficult to see what I was doing here, right in the way, so I would have been better off to have put it back a little further. I finally said, heck with it, I need to move the car. So I shot this and I'm narrating it on Thursday night. My surgery is Friday. I don't know if I'll be capable of narrating anything after my surgery. I'm going to have a mouthful of gauze, at least the first night anyhow. We'll see how it goes on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, I'm just going to keep this rail box with me, and I'm going to run through the crossovers and pick up an empty gondola from Union Spring. I can always tell when I don't have any full gondolas in the yard because my train, when I set up, will just have me pick one up. That means all my gondolas are empty, so I either need to go in and fill them up manually, or as some people have suggested, actually run a couple fake trains, one that picks up all the empty gondolas from the yard and goes to a steel mill, and then one that goes from the steel mill back to the yard and fills the gondolas up. You know, just take a couple clicks of a button to do that. I just haven't done it yet. That way I would always have a supply of gondolas full. Now, if you notice, I added some of my little pine trees that I made in front of wherever there, in that green space. So I'm just going to pull these out, and like I usually do, I'm going to leave them on the main. I'm just going to push them back adjacent to Union Spring there and leave them on the main. So this was all filmed continuously. I never stopped at all. Engine ran very well. It's a great running little engine, just like the Spook Show says. It's maybe Bachman, but it's really, really good. This is the only place it stalled, and I got a little heavy-handed and knocked it off the track just trying to bump it. Luckily, I was able to put it right back on the track. I wish the headlight was a little brighter. And it doesn't have a rear light on it, which engines would have probably if they were switching in the yard, things like that. Alright, so we're just going to run back through the crossovers and attach to the rest of the train, and that'll end it for part one of a railroad story. So I'll pick up with part two, and we'll go up and switch, run around the train, and we'll switch Miller Distribution and ITT Grinnell. So hope everybody Have a good evening and stay safe. And I'll let you know how the surgery went.